Hello again, friends. It's Adam Stein, broker, owner, performance coach here at Century 21 Stein Posner in Boca Raton. Wanted to connect with you today and share with you what I believe is some really important content for those of you that may be considering selling your home in this current market. Now, what I'm going to share with you are concepts that hold true whether it's in this current market or otherwise, but we really are going to speak to what's happening in the current market as of today. By the way, if you like this content, make sure you hit the subscribe and you get notifications turned on so that as we continue to share relevant and timely information about real estate, the real estate market, and best practices and tips on how to maximize the process for you or someone you know, you'll get the notification. Make sure you leave a comment if you like something here in the video as well. Okay, what we're talking about today is how to get yourself and your home ready to go on the market to maximize the process. And so you may be saying, well, Adam, today in the market, all I got to do is stick a sign in the ground and my home is going to sell for way above market value or at this rising price arena that we're in. And what I can tell you is that yes, in 2021, we have seen a significant increase in single-family home price appreciation, 25% year over year on the median for our Tri-County marketplace. That is true here in South Florida, and certainly the case in many major markets around the United States. This content is not just relevant for South Florida, it's relevant for anyone who wants to sell their home and maximize the process. And so it is true that there's a ton of buyer demand, interest rates have remained low, and homes are selling based on a limited supply or limited availability of homes. I do also want to share with you content that's going to help you maximize that process because I just released some video content recently on how here in our market, we're seeing a shift where homes are sitting on the market a bit longer, where unless your home is in prime condition, we're not seeing multiple offers and those homes aren't moving quite as quickly. In fact, we're starting to see some price reductions. The average price point here in the South Florida marketplace actually was down 8% month over month from June to July. So it is important. This information will be relevant for you. I wrote a few notes here to make sure that I cover all the items I want to share with you. Okay, let's get into it. So thinking about selling my house, what do I need to do to maximize the process? So we know there are 4 things that every home seller wants every time. Number 1, the most money possible, right? I want to net the most amount of money possible. I don't know any home seller who has any other plan other than that, which is to net the most money possible. The key word there being possible, okay? We want to have a realistic expectation on the market, and granted, we've seen this rising tide market where the numbers sometimes are even hard for us to explain. We're seeing buyers waive appraisal. Homes are appraising and or coming in contract and appraised value. There's a slight gap. Buyers are making up that gap. That's not going to continue forever. Okay, I just want to make sure we all understand that that environment's not going to last forever. And there is going to come a time when the market shifts. We think we're starting to see it now. So it's the most money possible. And really it's the most money in your pocket, right? The net after you pay off your mortgage, after you pay off the commissions and the transaction costs, right? You want to put as much money in your pocket as possible. We understand that. Number 2 is generally in the shortest amount of time. I don't know any seller who wants to be on the market for a long time and certainly not under contract for a long time because there's uncertainty. And generally the reasons we're selling are not just to capitalize on a great market, but also because there's a life event happening, right? There's some need or desire to relocate, reposition, need more space, need less space, all the different factors that contribute to somebody making a decision to sell their house. Generally, we want to do it in the shortest amount of time. Number 3 is you need to have a buyer that will close, right? You want to get under contract with a buyer that will close and not just tie you up, go under contract only to cancel at their inspection period, which does happen. Or a buyer who is not strong with their financing doesn't get approved, they don't move forward on the transaction, it cancels because it's a contingent transaction, a contingent contract, and now as a home seller, you're going back to market to find your next buyer, repeating the process and essentially delaying the next stage of your life. The 4th thing every home seller wants that we know of for sure is the least amount of stress possible. And this is where some of this education will come in handy, right? Being prepared mentally, emotionally for this process. And likewise, hiring the right real estate professional. So this is where we come in, of course, with information, education, but also to really guide the process as your consultative advisor. Of course, not every real estate agent is built the same. Some agents are built really to be great advisors through the process. Take the stress of the transition off your shoulders, put it onto ours so that this can be as stress-free as possible. Certainly moving is stressful, one of the most stressful things we go through in life. And so having the right agent is super important. So number one, most money possible. Number two, shortest amount of time. Number three, with a buyer that will close. And number four is the least amount of stress possible. Okay, so what are the things you need to do to prepare for that? Number one, find that trusted professional. Don't wait. We encourage every home seller, everyone that we are interacting with in an advisory capacity on an ongoing basis, we're talking to them about preparing yourselves way in advance, right? In a conversation with an advisor. In as much time ahead as you can, with as much advanced time as you can, so that you can really prepare yourself properly. So I encourage that to be one of the first things you consider doing, finding the right advisor, the right professional to start guiding you through the process. All right, next, number two is home improvements or preparation of the physical real estate. So first impression is everything, right? We want to make certain that that curb appeal when a buyer shows up to your house is representative of the kind of home that you live in and that you are marketing, right? First impressions are everything. Curb appeal is everything. And it doesn't have to be anything elaborate or super fancy. Clean, well-maintained. Here in South Florida, specifically in Boca Raton, we've got very manicured lawns and landscaping, and that's lovely. But in whatever area you are, you know that there are things you can do to improve the curb appeal so that you make a great first impression for your buyer and for that agent, right? Buyers and agents are looking at lots of houses. When they pull up to your house, you want them to say, this is the one before they even walk in. Okay, next is have a thorough evaluation of your home to look at the areas where you could make some repairs or improvements. We live in our houses. We're hard on our houses. Right? As we're living there, there's going to be wear and tear on our houses. Well, that's fine when you're living there and not planning to sell it. But when you're planning to sell it and go to the market, you want a buyer to come to that house and say, this home is in tip-top condition and everything works right. You know, down to the minorest of details, because those minor details are relevant to buyers. How you do one thing is how you do everything. And if there's a minor detail off in the house in one area, that's going to give a buyer reason to think there might be other details that are off in other areas of the house. I know that makes sense. So have someone who understands physical real estate come into your home. If you have a great real estate agent, that's something that we do and we train up on all of our agents. When we go to our sellers' homes, we're looking through that home with a very discerning eye so that we can make recommendations on how to maximize and improve the selling process, which will ultimately help you achieve one, if not all of those four objectives we talked about in the beginning: most money, shortest amount of time, buyer that'll close, least amount of stress for you. Okay. Service all of your mechanical systems, right? So here in Florida, we've got HVAC systems. We don't have much forced air heat. If you're in areas that get cold and you've got boilers or hot air, blowing systems, heating systems, service all those mechanicals. Look at your appliances, make sure they're working properly. If you're here in South Florida and you have a pool pump, service those things so that not only are they working properly at the time of listing and showing, but during inspection, right? Because you want to eliminate any reason for that buyer to either ask for a price reduction or cancel the deal. And inspection can be one of those critical elements. If you service all your mechanicals and all of the operational elements of your house in advance, you prevent that from happening. Okay, next, remove the clutter. So we live in our houses, like I said. If you went to my house right now, it's not in showing condition. I'm living there, right? Think about what it is to go into a model home for a brand new construction house. What's it look like? Pristine, clean, designer created, right? There's no clutter. There's no extra or excess. You want to do the same thing for your house. Remove that clutter. Now it's hard, right? You got all your personal photos on your photo wall, and all the things that make your home a home for you is great when you're living there and plan to continue living there. But when you're making a market for buyers to come and look at your house, you want to create a space where the buyer can see themselves living there, right? So you're going to remove all the things that may be specific to you that could be considered clutter to create a cleaner and really a more essentialist, minimalist type environment, because that's what buyers are looking for today. Okay, next, rearrange furniture if necessary. Again, we live in our homes the way that is most comfortable for us. That's not always the most feng shui, right? It's not the most energetically appealing for a buyer to come in. And again, in many cases, less is more. And so just contemplate, how can I make this space, my living room, my dining area, whatever it might be, less cluttered and have better energetic flow with the possessions in that space. Okay, moving on. We're getting through our list, just a few more points. Organize, right? So buyers are nosy. You got your papers out all over the place. You got your personal effects out all over the place. We want to put all that away, number one, because those are your personal items. When you're showing the house, you don't want buyers and strangers to see those items. And secondarily it's clutter, it's disorganization, and that's going to give a sense to the buyer that, hey, if this person is a disorganized person, does that mean that the home has elements that aren't functional or operable or in prime condition? So organize to remove those, again, that clutter. And make sure your home shines, right? A clean house sells faster. Even if it's to the degree you need to do some touch-up paint. Maybe you've got a room where you love this deep color red. Well, not everybody loves red, right? Or you've got these very unique colors because, I know in my house when my kids were little, we painted their rooms, fun kid colors, right? Well, does that mean that that's transferable to everybody? Does everybody have a child that, at the time we painted the room was a toddler and pinks and, whatever colors we painted? Are those the right colors today? Most likely not. And so what we want to do is we want to create a very clean palette, including paint. And again, just really cleaning all this, clean your windowsills, clean your door sills, right? All the areas that we walk past over and over and over again as we're living in the home that we kind of look past, you want to make sure they are in pristine and clean condition. Okay, 3 more. Eliminate odors, right? So I've got a dog. Now she's a lovely animal that has no odor, but some of us have dogs and we got a lot of dogs and we got pet odors. It is what it is. Or we love to cook with curry or spices, and so our home now has taken on the smell of our spicy cooking, okay? Whatever it might be, I'm not here to judge or tell anybody that they should live in their houses in any certain way. I'm here to say that when buyers come to your house, they're gonna wanna not smell your favorite cooking. They're going to want to not smell all the dogs and the pets and the ferret you might have in the guest room. You know what I'm saying? So eliminate all odors. There's lots of ways you can go about doing that, and we're more than happy to share more of that in another detailed video. Like I said, repaint to neutral colors, and then finally create that inviting mood. Okay, when a buyer comes into the house, what's inviting, right? Great candles. We've even gone as far as to be baking cookies prior to open houses, right? Make sure the lighting is proper so that when the buyer comes to the house, it really shows in its best condition. Okay, so I've just given you 11 different things for you to consider in preparing your house for the market to maximize the process, get you the most money, shortest amount of time, buyer that will close with the least amount of stress for you. How about you? How do you get yourself ready, right? Because this is stressful. Well, number one is really thoroughly understand the process, okay? Create a great game plan. Think through all the variables. Ultimately, this is where a professional comes into play, which I mentioned is the first thing to do is get yourself a great advisor to walk you through each stage of the process. Someone with the skills and experience, the resources, the support. Right here in our organization, we support all of our agents. My partner Ron and I have been doing this for combined almost 50 years. So we've sold a few houses over the years. We've trained certainly hundreds of agents now over the years. And you really want to, as a seller, to get yourself emotionally and mentally ready, understand all the details of the process, even to the degree where you can anticipate the challenges, where things might go wrong. Where are those inflection or stress points so that you can really prepare yourself? Number two, have realistic expectations for the outcome. Now, that's not me saying you're not going to get everything you want. Again, like I said, we're always striving to deliver those 4 items, but it is appropriate for you to have a realistic expectation based on the current market environment. Today, I would tell you, if you're considering selling your house, I would say the market is shifting. I would say, depending on the condition of your house, right? Does your house have an older roof, or is it brand new? Has your kitchen been updated and renovated, or is it a little bit dated? What are the status or condition of your floors? What about the mechanical systems? Based around all of that, I'm not saying go renovate your house or put a new roof on it. I'm saying have a realistic expectation for the house you have, okay, based on the market that you're in. Of course, a great advisor will help you with that whole thought process. And then finally, this is where the rubber meets the road. Hire the best professional you can, someone that you can trust, someone who communicates well, someone who really understands the process and is willing to hold your hand on this journey of getting you the most money possible in the shortest amount of time with a buyer that will close and the least amount of stress and headaches for you. We've made our mark, and I'm not advertising for my brokerage firm here, although, of course, if you're in South Florida and you want to work with the best, reach out to us. But whether you're here or you're anywhere, make sure you hire a professional you can trust, a professional who understands the things that I just shared with you, that would map out a game plan, give you a sequence, and help you activate around all of these steps so that you can achieve the desired objective. Okay, again, if you like this video and you want to get more content from us that'll be helpful, please hit that subscribe, like the video, share a comment, send this video to a friend who's thinking about selling, and we'll look forward to connecting with you again. My name is Adam Stein. Have a great day.